Hello, I am Juliana Schmidt, and this is
Luciana Vilela.
and we are the co-founders of PS Passport Stamps. We are a recruiting company specialized in recruiting Canadian citizens to work at sea. Combined, we have 45 years of experience in the cruise industry and in the tourism industry. And what we do is we connect cruise lines with candidates that would like to start a new lifestyle working at sea. We are a professional recruiting company with key partners, and we are able to provide the information that candidates need to be successful at sea. How is the crew accommodation on board?
Crew accommodations, they are very limited space. So remember, the ships need to have everything that they need to cruise around and to be at sea. So that means that every little inch is important. So a lot of spaces that are multiple uses. And that means crew cabins are tiny little things and you share with someone.
Unless you are a manager.
Unless
That
you're
is
a
your
manager.
end goal, of course.
That's true. But normally you just share with one more person. It's very rare in our days now that have crew cabins with 3 or 4. This is still happen, especially in older ships, but normally no. Normally it's just one more person, and you have your assigned wardrobe, which is very tiny as well, and your bathroom.
It reminds me of those high school lockers.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there is a lot of hanging clothes around the room, wherever you can find space.
Funny little bits. I just find out when I was on board that my only place of full privacy was in my bed, that you have a little curtain that you could close, so you don't need to sleep with an open mouth in the face of somebody else. You have your little curtain, you can close. Some of the new ships even have a little screen TV for you with your bed, but yeah, the rest of the cabin you're gonna be sharing.
Yes, but you can bring your laptop to watch, no?
Yes.
And there is always a TV. We have had TVs that were very old. Now the ships are getting more modern and updating their TVs and their Wi-Fi connection.
Yes. One thing I used to do all the time was turn on the TV to watch the bridge channel. So the bridge has a camera that show how it looks outside, so I could see if it was raining or sunny or
Like a
whatever.
weather forecast on the ship.
From my little cabin. So I was very happy with that. I have a beautiful view from the bridge.
And Lucy and I worked on the same ship a few times, no, for a few years. And when we both started, we were still sharing, not with each other. We were in different departments. And then we both got promoted, so we happened to be neighbors. So that was fun. Then we had our own room. We had a little porthole. Most of the rooms, not most, but it's common to have a little porthole in the manager's room. So we both had a little porthole, and we share. So I could hear her snoring. Not that she snores, but if she would snore, I could hear. That's what I mean. Yeah.
But we could have full conversations through the wall because it was so thin, and we could hear each other very easily. So yeah.
Are you ready?
You have sugar? No.
Yeah. No, you can't have that much food in your cabin, but it's good for you to set your expectations. You're not going to be in a luxurious room with a veranda when you are working as a crew member. It's a small space that is not a lot of privacy. The bathrooms, they are normally very small as well. There is no bathtub for the crew members, no? Unless you stay in a guest room. Sometimes it happens like before you disembark or the day you embark. Very rare, but it can happen that you are lucky. But let's set the right expectations that it's a small confined space.
And the truth is, you're never gonna use that room that much.
To sleep.
Because you're gonna be working, and when you're not working, you're gonna be shoreside, enjoy these amazing towns that the ship call. So who cares about the cabin?
Or you will be in the crew bar, or you will be in the crew area having some sunshine. Yeah, we don't spend much time in the room.
So how about the crew areas? What we can do on board?
That is depending on the size of the ship and the company, there are different areas, but every crew area will have a mess. No, that is the restaurant for the staff, and they are normally divided by, let's call it categories. So you have the crew members. They are like more of the entry level positions, the mass groups of people. So people from the housekeeping department, from the bar, from the restaurant, from the deck. So it's a larger mass where you have food and you have set times for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And some companies have better
midnight snacks as well.
Snacks, yes. It's a very comprehensive schedule, so pretty much everybody can eat unless you're in a very unusual schedule, but that is always an option. And it's a buffet style in most of the lines. And then there is normally like a staff and officers mess that it's a smaller room for the hierarchy positions, so for supervisors, managers, for some of the hotel department positions, like if you are a concierge, or some of the companies will allow the staff from the gift shop or from the spa to have access to that staff mess as well. So it's just smaller. The quality of the food is a little bit different, the variety. Some of the lines will have actually a menu that you can order from. Some of them will actually allow you to order from the restaurants, from the guests. Depending on your position and on the ship, you actually can go to the passengers areas as well. So normally, like, you have free access with responsibility and common sense. Of course, guests come first, but you can have dinner at the buffet, or you can even go to the main restaurant, or if you have the status, so depending on your position, if you can go to the specialty restaurants, they are the nicer restaurants, you need to make a reservation. If there is a fee, you have to pay for that fee. Normally it's a smaller fee, but definitely there is a lot of food, and if you have like any dietary restrictions, it can be accommodated. But besides the area to eat, there is normally like an outside area for the crew. There is normally a smoking area in most of the ships that is dedicated only for the crew. There is like an area, sometimes there is a pool, sometimes there is just some lounge chairs, and then some gym. Yeah, there is normally a gym for the crew. Some crew members have access to the guest gym depending on your position as well. And also in the crew area, there is the crew bar.
That's the best kept secret on board, because
Yes.
the crew bar is not just the place you socialize and meet your friends, but it's the price is so cheap.
It's your secret heaven on board.
Yes.
And they have like special evenings. My favorite were the Latin nights, also the Indian nights. So they play like theme songs from that country, or that theme that was chosen for that day. Or if there is like an Independence Day for a country that there is the Filipinos are very proud of their national day. So there is a lot of events that are organized by the HR department.
Okay. And how you pay for everything?
Oh, so you have a little card like the guests have on the ship, and then normally the beer is very inexpensive. I think it's cheaper than water. But there's also snacks. Sometimes you can buy like something healthy, or you can buy, although there is food provided, if you want to buy a candy bar or something. Yes. Normally there is a little concession area for the crew as well.
And the laundry?
There is a crew laundry, not my favorite place on the ship. I don't like doing my own laundry. But there is a little laundry depending on the size of the ship, as big or small. So you just need to make sure that you have enough time off to go pick up your laundry, remove from the washing machine, to put it in the dryer.
I must say, most of the crew bars are near the laundry, so you can put your laundry and come for a drink, and then come back, put in the dryer, and then come back to say hello to other friends, and then finally you finish your laundry.
Yes, absolutely. And you can also send your uniform to have the ship do it for you. No, so you don't pay, or you don't have to do your own laundry for your uniform, but for your personal clothes, you can then use the crew laundry.
Yes, and the crew laundry is free.
Yes.
And then just if you want a personal clothes to be washed by the ship, then they have a small fee. But your uniform is always going to be free.
Yes. So how can you go ashore as a crew member?
Best part of the job.
The reason why we all sign up for that lifestyle.
True. So it's very easy. You're gonna have your crew card that have your information with name and what ship you work for, and most of the countries, that's it. It's that easy. Some of the countries, very little, are gonna ask for your passport. In that case, the HR will organize for you to collect the passport in the night before or in the morning that you are visiting that specific country, and then you can take the passport, go ashore, go visit the cities that you want to visit, and come back on board and give the passport back to the HR. What happened? Every time that the ship docks in a port, they gonna do the immigration in the morning. So you can be sleep like a princess,
or working
yes, or working like a horse, whatever. You're not gonna deal with immigration anymore. That's responsibility for the HR department. So they stay with your passport the whole contract. And apart from these countries that ask you to just disembark with your passport, apart from that moment, you're not gonna use that at all. So you have your crew card that allowed you to walk in and outside of the port, and that's it. Enjoy outside. And now Juliana gonna talk about the very interesting part as well.
Yes, well, you do need to have time off. So depending on your
Yes.
position, your schedule for today, of course, Lucy worked her, how many years?
12.
12 years in the gift shop. So when the ship is in port, normally the gift shop is closed and you have more free time. But reality of most of the departments, you work when the ship is in port. So you need to, schedule your time off and see when you have enough time. I would normally work in the morning and then I had a little bit of time in the afternoon. But many times I would request a little bit of a longer time to go on the tours. And when I first started on cruise ships, I worked in the short excursions department, and it was, for me, the best job ever because I could actually go on the tours. It was part of my job description. So even if you are not part of the short excursions department, you can sign up. So every bus that goes with organized tours, organized by the ship, by the cruise line, they like to have a representative from the ship. So it's called escorts. So that is like a request. So you can see the tour description, the tour name, the time and the date. You can go to the short excursions team and then ask to put your name when you know that you are going to have some time off. We have been, that's why she's my friend, because I work on the short excursions department. So I would sign her up to go with me. So we have done some amazing tours together, and we both have traveled around the world in style. Not only we were able to just go ashore, but we're actually able to go on those tours and not have to pay for lunch or pay for transportation, pay for the entrance fee to go into a museum or to an attraction. So that's definitely a big perk that comes if you're interested in traveling around the world.
Exactly. So how we do when we need to go to the doctor, dentist, or even cut my hair?
So that's a very good question. So actually on every single ship, doesn't matter how big or small they are, they have a medical center. And normally there is like one doctor and two nurses, and will be bigger the bigger the ship is. This is included, so you do not need to worry. So if you don't feel well, if something happens to you, you just advise your supervisor, and they either arrange or they will send you to the medical facility. They have some hours that they are open, but if you need help outside of those hours, there is a number that will be provided to you that you can call. If you're really sick, of course, somebody's going to help you. Let's say if somebody needs to disembark, you're in the middle of the ocean and somebody needs to be taken ashore. Hopefully will never happen to you. That can be either the ship will come back to port, or there is a helicopter that can come and pick you up. Normally it happens more for the older guests, but sure. If a crew member needs support, that is all included, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, if you need to go like to the dentist, or if you need a specialist that is not available on board, the doctor on board is like a family doctor, the equivalent. Yes. But if you do need a specialist, then the ship, the HR department and the medical team will then arrange for you an appointment. They will take you with a car. You don't have to worry about anything. There will be somebody, normally the port agent or somebody that works with the port agent, that will escort you. So it will be well taken care. Even if you're in a country where they don't speak English as their first language, so they normally take very good care of the crew. What else you may need? You may need to cut your hair. Oh yes, there is a spa on board. So you actually have access to the spa. You need to call them and say like, listen, I am a crew member and I would like to make an appointment. They are normally gonna give you an appointment during the times that they are not so busy, normally when the ship is in port. Sometimes some vessels will do like special evenings for the crew, so depending on the company, and you get a crew discount, because if you look at the spa menu, it's a little pricey, but these are good friends to have too. I remember there was one lady from Kenya that was the spa manager, and she used to call me, Juliana, do you have time? Let me do your hair. So she would like do braids and do hairdos. My husband would be invited to do massages, no? So sometimes they needed models to feature, like to show to the guests what they can offer. So if you have the availability and if you know make the right connections, it's something that you can take advantage of too. But you can definitely make an appointment and get your nails done, get whatever you want.
Your hairdo, whatever you want. It's really fun.
Yeah.
So how about finances? How is Work on Board gonna help me save money?
Well, at first you may look at your salary and think, how far is this money gonna go? It's gonna go farther than what you think, because you don't have to pay rent. And if you live in Canada, rent or mortgage, it's very expensive. So you don't have the cost with that. You do not pay utilities. There is no cost for gas, no for heating, for water. Depending on the line, there is no cost for Wi-Fi. Most of the lines now are allowing WhatsApp, not having you some sort of access to internet. If not, you can have Wi-Fi when you are in port, but it depends. It's normally reasonably priced internet on board if it's not included. But you don't have costs with food unless you want to go ashore and have a meal, in a nice destination, what I always did because I love eating out. But your food is included, don't spend with breakfast and so on. You don't have any medical, no, like if you need to use the dentist. You have a discount if you want to go to the crew bar, if you want to get a haircut. So all these prices are deducted, like they're lower than normal prices. And you're really able to save. Unless you're going shopping like a crazy desperate person, you should be able to save. All of us know, Lucy and I, our husbands, we all worked on ships and we were able to really come back to real life, like to land with some money saved. If you are smart about it, either if you're investing or whatever you're doing with your money, buying property, but there is definitely an opportunity to do it if you do it wisely. So, I have a question, very important one. Can I date on board?
Yes, if he's a fellow crew member, staff, officer, yes, no problem at all. But
not the guest.
Not the guest.
Not your direct supervisor.
Not your direct supervisor. No.
It is a big
no. And remember, you are in an ambience that's completely 100% recorded. So
cameras everywhere.
Cameras everywhere. Don't think you're gonna be sneaky under the stairs and
in the elevator.
You're probably gonna have your ticket home in the following day and say goodbye your job, because that's a big no-no for every single cruise line.
Know the rules of the company. Ask, no, but pretty much across the line, across the board is no dating direct supervisors, no dating guests.
Yes, but yeah. We can date crew members and colleagues. We got married, right?
Yes, we found love on board.
Not with each other, but
no. Yes, I'm married to a Canadian. Lucy's married to a Honduran, and we all worked on board, and then it worked out for us. But not all the love stories end up well, so be mindful. There was some heartbrokens along the way.
Yes.
So the life on board is very intense. So what you would live in a year tends to be very intense on a very short 6 months contract or 4 months contract. So be mindful of that, of knowing your mental health. If you're open to a relationship, knowing that that relationship, chances are, is not going to last. It's very hard to maintain a relationship on this on board with this life, because you may be sent to another cruise ship, you may be transferred, the other person may be transferred, but you're definitely allowed, but be conscious.
Yes. We get a lot of questions if couples can apply. Couples can definitely apply. If they are married, they definitely can apply, but it's not 100% guaranteed they're gonna get the same ship, because the cruise lines will fill it up what they need in the business needs, right? So if I have a space for one person in one ship and the other person in the other ship, that's how it's gonna come your flight details. And if you don't feel that you can be separate for a few months, maybe that's not for you guys. It's definitely a life that you need to be aware that you are traveling and living that life, and
And nothing's certain. Your schedule
Nothing
can
certain.
change. Yeah.
Even when you get a schedule, even when you are on board, that happened with me before. I was on board and somebody else broke his leg literally in another cruise ship and they need me there. So they send me a flight details I have to pack and move.